Hello fellow brawlers, welcome to Brawl Theory, the show where brawl nerds like myself dive into the lore behind Brawl Stars to answer the important questions, and today we've got a lot of questions that I'm going to be doing my best to answer. What exactly is the WKBRL stream? Where did the StarPark.biz website come from? And who is its webmaster? What happened to the Starr Park, and where did the brawlers that we play in Brawl Stars come from? Why do I keep on switching my camera angles? It's all ploy to keep your attention, and you are going to want to pay close attention to this video because I have exclusive information that you will not find anywhere else. Because not only did Supercell send me a Starr Park package, my package also came with this, which is unique and nobody else has this, and I'm going to reveal the contents of this later in the video. From what I've gathered, other people throughout the Brawl Stars community have also been sent similar Brawl Park packages. And other than the package that Gamba got, they all came with this note. Do not share the contents of this package until September 5th, but what really makes it official is the fact that there's a Starr Park logo at the top. Now, although there are similarities between packages, many people have unique contents that I think are going to be key clues to solving a big mystery. So I highly recommend going onto YouTube and searching for the hashtag Starr Park and finding as many clues as you possibly can. I know that Lex got a package that has some things different from me, and my video editor Chicken also got something very different, so you're gonna wanna check them all out. If I'm right, there are going to be hints on other social media platforms like Reddit, Twitter, Instagram, and maybe even Discord, and this is very important, so make sure you watch to the end of this video and you'll see why. If you're confused, let me explain some quick history that's going to help you understand what's going on and why this is a big deal. Back in April of this year, a mysterious stream known as WKBRL appeared on YouTube. The hint to finding it was in Morse code on the left side of Terra's Bazaar, and the same Morse code was later added in the Super City theme as well. The stream continually leaked information about future updates, including superheroes and monsters fighting, which we later learned led up to Surge and the Summer of Monsters update. The music in Piper's Sugar and Spice animation was also leaked, and many other things that were later made public were first heard on the stream. In essence, the WKBRL stream has been a reliable source of information, but it's never been completely clear and we don't know exactly who's running it. The live stream is still actively live, and although it's mostly filled with static, every now and then a clear message comes across. But that is not all that is going on right now. In my second Brawl Theory video about Brawl Stars being a theme park, I credited Gamba, who was the first person to point out clues throughout Brawl Stars, as proof that Brawl Stars takes place in a theme park. And now we have physical evidence that this is the case. Recently, a mysterious package was delivered to Gamba by somebody wearing a creepy cactus mask. They didn't say anything when it was delivered, but the box had Starr Park stamped all over it. The star spelled with 2 R's, just like in Starcade from the 8-bit minigame and the Starr building in the Super City environment. Inside the box was a Starr Park shirt, a Starr hat, an old laptop, and some instructions on how to connect to the Wi-Fi. But on the instructions, there was a message that said, "You are on to something." This is a very important phrase that I'm going to talk about later on, but for now, let's talk about the 2 things that Gamba found in the laptop. The first was a link to a website for StarPark.biz, which is self-proclaimed as a official worldwide website for collections and memories of Starr Park. You are visiting an internet portal where joy and happiness are mandatory. You will not want to leave this page ever. As you can see, the site is a little bit cryptic in its message of forced happiness. But the site isn't the only cryptic thing. On the ticket of the grand opening, it says, "We allow you to be our guest. You will enjoy your time. At Starr Park, nothing can ever go wrong, and why would it? Come closer and we'll show you." Super creepy vibes, but because the actual park ticket has creepy phrases on it, we know that it's not just the site that is sketchy. This shows us that the theme park that builds the foundation of Brawl Stars' history has a very dark past. I'm gonna do my best to reveal the truth behind this mystery, but first we need to take a closer look at the website. If you go into the site's photo galleries, you'll see a collection of images from Starr Park merchandise, equipment, and paraphernalia. Quite a few of the items contained in the images refer to brawlers that are actually in the game. A mariachi head and a small guitar referring to Poco. There's also a coffin being called a twin-size bed frame, obviously for Mortis. You'll find an arcade cabinet with Project Laser on it, and that very well could be 8-bit before he came to life. More information on why I say that on this Brawl Theory video, which is also supported by evidence uncovered in this video that you're watching right now. There's a large gun with 3 barrels for Bull, a gumball machine for Rico, an eagle hat for Bo, Z brand hairspray for Ems, a plush penguin for Mr. P, Yoshi, a snow globe representing Gale, Starr Park bubblegum for BB, an ad for Frontier Market with an image of what looks like Colt on it, and of course, packaging for Cactus socks. That's right guys, the sock that was put in Brawl Ball 3 years ago when the game mode was first released clear back in early beta, and the same sock that we found in Siege, in Brawl Pass, and many other places throughout Brawl Stars was very likely originally called Cactus socks, only purchasable at Starr Park. Now, as you go and you look at these pictures, it's going to be pretty obvious that it looks like they were taken a long time ago. In fact, the second thing that Gamba found on the laptop was an HTML document that looks similar to the Starr Park website. And that site specifically says that the images came from the late 50s through the early 70s. And that actually gives us a reference for when Starr Park was operating, but it seems like something very bad happened that forced Starr Park Corporation, also known as SP Corporation, to shut the theme park down. And it looks like the webmaster who originally created the site did so specifically to try and bring evidence of the crimes that Starr Park committed to light. It's clear that something very wrong happened in the park during the early 70s, which caused it to close down. In fact, there are a lot of references on the website to products being no longer good or safe. The official Starr Park jumpsuit was described as smelling like chemicals. The gumballs might or might not be okay to eat. Starr Park bubblegum was called inedible. Spaghetti on a stick was described as extremely expired and not for consumption. There's Z brand hairspray that is not good for hair. Then there's the chocolate bar missing its wrapper, and in contrast, the wrapper missing its chocolate, both of which seem to be individually significant. Obviously, these food items are going to be expired. After all, the pictures were taken several decades ago, right? But there is one image that is very significant to me. I'm talking about the Starr Park Star Balloon. It's described as being still inflated with original air. Why would the webmaster care if it was inflated with the original air still in it unless there was something fishy going on with the air? I think that the air inside that balloon was proof of SP Corporation's crimes against humanity, which begs the question, what was their crime? I think that Starr Park and all of its products were a front for Starr Park Corporation to experiment on human DNA without their guests noticing. And if you ask me, a theme park is the perfect place to do it. You can control people's food and drink intake. Toxic chemicals could be spread throughout the air and covered up by nice smells so that people don't actually notice. Security cameras could be placed throughout the park for security reasons, which would then allow for observation on various guests or subjects. And if anybody gets sick, just use the park's security direct line to give them a first-class ride to the park's first aid clinic, where they're going to be carefully monitored. After all, it's really easy to blame an upset stomach on eating too much park food, or going on a really fast ride, or just walking all day in the heat. And the webmaster did make a very specific note saying that the security phone was used heavily. Now the question's going through your mind, why in the world would Starr Park Corporation want to perform such inhumane experiments on their guests? It's the same reason any supervillain ever does anything. They want to take over the world. Just imagine if you could create an army filled with superhuman abilities. Abilities like super intelligence, super speed, invisibility, psychic powers, or even the ability to jump super high. What if you could bring inanimate objects to life and have them fight for you? Objects like a gumball machine or an arcade cabinet. What if you could bring someone back from the dead? Or what if you could mutate plants and have them do your dirty work? Then of course there's transforming birds that can be used as intelligent beings that can poison your enemies. If you could do all of that and figure out a way to control those superhumans, you would be a pretty powerful person. And if somebody was going to take all that information and bring it to the public, you would try your best to try and shut them up. I think that's exactly what happened to the StarPark.biz webmaster. Let's take a step back and recall how all of this started in the first place. Gamba created a post revealing that Brawl Stars' real theme was a theme park, and a mysterious person from Supercell sends him a package. It wasn't shipped in a box like my package was. It was hand-delivered in a wooden crate by some mysterious person wearing a cactus mask. I don't think that the cactus mask person was the webmaster, but I do think the webmaster is the one that sent the package with a note that said, "You are onto something." All of this with the goal of revealing the site that is filled with evidence of Starr Park's misdeeds. Now, one thing I do find interesting is that if you actually try to send an email to the webmaster to get more information, you will get a response back. It'll be titled, "Your patience is forever appreciated," and then say, "Your email has been received in the correct order, but some things have come to light and communications can now not be trusted or even believed. Keep your soul bright, the StarPark.biz webmaster." It seems like the webmaster stopped developing the site and is no longer willing to communicate through the site or through the email address because he's afraid for his safety. If you ask me, SP Corporation is up to something and the webmaster is trying to reveal it, bring it to light, all while trying to remain safe. But how is he trying to communicate to us now? I personally think that he's doing it through hidden messages in the WKBRL stream, and he's trying to prepare us for something big. I don't know what it is. I have a hunch regarding what it could be, but I don't know all the details, and I think that the webmaster is sending clues out to various people throughout the Brawl Stars community to try and help us figure it out. Now I'm going to reveal the contents of my box to you, and I'm going to tell you what I think it means. First up is a Starr hat with some headphones on it. It's kind of similar to the one on the website, but it's actually made from felt instead of paper, and the sides both have a symbol on it here that are Japanese katakana, which actually reads out to be, well, Starr Park. This happens to be the same logo as the Japanese enamel pins on the Starr Park website. Then of course on the back of it, it says Starr Park, but what I find interesting is that on the left headphone is actually a piece of tape right here that either says M or W, depending on which way it is turned around. It was positioned exactly like this, so I do think that it is an M. The headphones came with a headphone stand that says Starr Park on it. I don't think that that's particularly significant, but then I also got a Starr Park lunchbox right here that actually has a shirt inside. Reminder that the Brawl boxes inside Brawl Stars are lunch boxes. Now the shirt says, I survived the baggage blaster, which is clearly a roller coaster with an old penguin on it, kind of looks like Mr. P. And the Starr Park lunchbox actually has a piece of tape on it with an R. Now this next item is very strange. It is a very old looking penguin xylophone toy that is totally not creepy at all. Then I got this, which has a unique item in there that you're not gonna find anywhere else, but I need to talk about what the rest of the stuff that I received means first. There's actually a lot of evidence that suggests that the mastermind behind the plot of Starr Park turns out to actually be Mr. P. The shirt has Mr. P's roller coaster on it. This creepy xylophone toy is of a penguin. Also, if the piece of tape in my headset is an M, then the two letters that I got could easily be meant to represent M and R in Mr. as in Mr. P. And to top it all off, the webmaster included a very important note next to the plush penguin stuffed animal saying, bird not clean. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I think for an old plush toy that was stuffed 40 or 50 years ago, it looks pretty clean. And that tells me that this note is not referring to the cleanliness of the actual plush toy, but rather that what the plush toy represents is evil, and possibly the mastermind behind all the bad stuff that happened in Starr Park. But I don't think that it's actually the Mr. P that's in Brawl Stars. I'm referring to the real Mr. P, the owner of the Snow Hotel that was likely in Starr Park. And to find out their real name, you're going to have to watch Lex's video after you watch this one. Now let me reveal what's in this package, because I think it is the key to what Starr Park did next. Inside is the symbol of all of the work that I put into uncovering the truth behind Brawl Stars and its theme. Are you ready for this? It is a blueprint of the map of Brawl Stars land. Just imagine my surprise when the map that I featured in my first two Brawl Theory videos became official Brawl Stars lore. Well, sort of, as you see, it's rejected. I'll get to that in just a second here. In the lower right hand corner of the map is an outline of Brawltopia, which was my first Brawl Theory video ever. And the map as a whole is actually a replica of the Brawl Stars land map in my second Brawl Theory video, and each area of the park is numbered and has labels on there, and the legend actually has those labels as well. Additionally, you'll actually notice that the scale is completely messed up. It goes from 0 to 1, skips 2, then shows 3 and 4. I'm not entirely sure what that means, but if you look at the white and black lines and you read it like Morse code, it goes dash dot dash, pause, dash. That reads KT, which I can only assume means KairosTime. Crazy, right? Like, are you kidding me? Supercell, come on! Now, it's a little difficult to read this because of the big rejected stamp on top of it, but if you look in the lower left-hand corner, it says the official Department of Development, and then it's titled Brawl Stars Land. The official Department of Development of Brawl Stars Land? But then it has a big fat rejected on it, okay? Now, I have two theories as to what this actually means and why it is rejected. My first theory is that this is like Supercell's way of saying, hey man, you know how you put months into that Brawl Theory video? Well, that was pretty cool, but no. Rejected. But here's my second theory. I think that the Starr Park was shut down in the early 70s because they were performing experiments, human experiments, on their guests without them actually knowing. They did a pretty good job at keeping things from getting out to the public, but a mole at Starr Park Corporation known as the Webmaster created starpark.biz sometime between 2001 and 2003 to try and uncover the truth. Now I say 2001 because that's the same year as the version of Windows XP that the laptop had that was sent to Gamba, and 2001 is also the year that the .biz domain was actually made available to websites. And I say 2003 because that's the same year that the laptop was made that was sent to Gamba. It was the ThinkPad T41 according to the message that he sent to me privately. Additionally, if you actually look at the HTML document that he uncovered from the computer, the Best of the Web Bronze Award has a 2003 on it. And that is why I think SP Corporation did something that caused Webmaster to no longer try to communicate and stop developing the site. Instead, he had to go quiet for a while he figured out a way for him to communicate to the public effectively. And during that time, I think the SP Corporation decided to take advantage of the silence to try and restart their operations under a new name. And the new name for their theme park? Brawl Stars Land. And I think these are the blueprints that they originally sent to try and get it approved. However, as you can see, it got rejected. I think they have since revamped some blueprints and have sent them out. Eventually, I think they got something approved sometime around 2017, this time under the new name of just Brawl Stars. You see, I find it very strange that nobody who works at Brawl Stars has publicly said anything about the WKBRL stream or starpark.biz's website. There has been plenty of time that they could have done it and plenty of reason for them to do it, but what have Ryan, Danny, and Frank said? They haven't said a single thing. Don't you find it odd that the WKBRL stream is somehow able to broadcast music from Brawl Stars animations before they're released and nobody from Supercell has commented on it? The WKBRL stream has leaked hints over and over and over again ever since it was released first in April of this year, and Frank, Danny, Ryan, they haven't said a single thing. Here's what I think. I think the Webmaster is afraid of what is coming. Starr Park Corporation, no, Brawl Stars, learned more than enough from the experimentations back in the 60s and 70s, and they have used this past 40 years to master their chemical formulas. I think they're using their research to create soldiers for them called brawlers, and they're planning on taking over the world with them. You see, I think that the Starr hats that we've been seeing inside the game, and this Starr hat is not just a hat. I think Brawl Stars was experimenting with mind control on Starr Park guests, all for the sole purpose of controlling superhuman soldiers that are very much similar to the brawlers that we see inside the game Brawl Stars. Now, I was talking to Gamba about all of this, and he suggested that Brawl Stars is actually using us to put their super soldiers through battle simulations. With millions of people playing Brawl Stars throughout the world, they are building a strong enough AI to control super soldiers in real life situations so they can take over the world. Where are these super soldiers located? I think that they're somewhere in Australia. After all, there are Australian coins next to the green gems, the plush penguin, and the miniature theme model park ride on the website. And as further evidence, out of all of the charities that Brawl Stars could have chosen to support during the past year, the most crazy year possibly ever, I don't know, which charity did they choose to create a skin for? Koalanita for the wildfires in Australia. Coincidence? Not if they're trying to protect their super soldiers. I think not. I don't know how, guys, but we need to figure out how we can stop Brawl Stars from controlling the world, and there is no way I'm putting this thing on. The Webmaster is risking his or her life to help us solve the mystery, so we need to come together and solve it. Please help. The world depends on it.
KAIROS, code Kairos in the Brawl Stars shop.
But hey, that's just a theory, a brawl theory. Thanks for watching.